Bid you all good morning, good evening, and good night. Thanks for joining in and being part of the channel. Welcome to I don't know what they're trying to feed you in the news, or believe it or not, or what is the story or the dilemma of the day. Ever since towards the end of 2019, well, I would say 2018, there was always a major emergency or a major problem happening every week. It was this or a bombing here or that, and now it's just they're spinning. I don't even know what they're spinning. So let's take a look at what they're spinning here or trying to tell us here. Guys, don't forget to subscribe, be part of the channel. Set your reminders. We have Alaskan Prepper coming on this Saturday on Mike in the Night. That's the 13th of February. Don't forget, Alaska Prepper is going to be here. Going to be a great show. Okay, so what do we got for you guys? Send me your show tips on Instagram. Let me go to article scan here so you guys can see that. Go to Instagram, Mike Martin's Official. Send me your show tips on here. And I usually accumulate them and read them on here for you guys, okay? So let's kick it off. What are they feeding us? What kind of crap are they trying to feed us? Here it is. Facebook to temporarily reduce political content for some users in Canada and other countries. Okay. Canada's been making deals with like eBay because ever since the government got involved with eBay, they've been wanting all my personal information for me to sell stuff on eBay, use stuff on eBay. So it's been really bizarro what's been happening in Canada. Now, Facebook to temporarily reduce political content for some users in Canada and other countries. Okay? So here it is. The world's largest social network, which has received flack for not doing enough to remove hateful content from the platform. So what is hateful content? Like this, we never had this issue before the 2016 election. There was no, it never existed. And now this hateful, people would post crap, they'd get banned, and that's it. Nobody would, there's always going to be people that think outside the box or think that, but before 2016, the 2017 election in the United States, there was none of this problems. Now that they're seeing how much power social media has on elections and how it could restructure or reformat an election, we're seeing how now we're all getting punished. Since Hill Dog lost that election in 2017, they kicked off a bunch of people off of YouTube. Everybody's being punished because somebody lost an election in the United States. And it's disgusting. Everyone's being punished for it. CDC says people who have received 2 COVID vaccine doses can't skip quarantine. So there it is. So people who have received the full course of COVID vaccine can skip the standard 14-day quarantine after exposure to someone with the infection as long as they remain asymptomatic, U.S. public health official advised. So there it is. CDC said on late Wednesday that vaccines have been shown to prevent symptomatic COVID, thought to play a greater role in the transmission of the virus than asymptomatic disease. Interesting. This is what they're trying to feed us. Here it is. This is an important one. I got 2 articles on this. Biden calls Chinese President Xi to share his greetings and well wishes. Now let's go over here. Let's go over here. The official said Biden would approach the call in a manner that was hard-headed, particularly clear-eyed, and rooted in deep familiarity with his counterpart on the other end of the line. So basically, now this is the key point right here to take away from this. Although Biden plans to reject the overall trade strategy adopted by former President Donald Trump, Biden is maintaining Trump's tariffs on Chinese goods. Not because we believe the trade war was successful. Oh, God forbid something worked right under the Trump administration. But because we believe we have a very carefully, in consultation with allies and partners, in consultation with Congress, work through the leverage we have on the economic front and move out with a sharper and more effective trade strategy towards China, officials say. All right, let's move on. Mexico drafts new bill to punish social media platforms for censorship. Hallelujah. Mexico is standing up. If you're tired of the cancel culture and censorship, subscribe to Reclaim the Net. Reclaim the Net. So there it is, a link right there. Mexico could soon have a law to regulate mainstream social media networks to protect free speech. Mexico's President Andrés Manuel López Obrador has been critical of social media companies and even blasted Facebook for indefinitely suspending former President Trump. Yeah, for sure. So Mexico's doing the right thing, right? Facebook will temporarily reduce visibility of political content for some users. So this one goes on to say right here that 6% of the total percentage of political content out of all content users in the U.S. see on Facebook. The company claims based on its own analysis. So that's what they see, 6% of political content on there. Interesting, very interesting. Guys, I'm tired. It's been a long day. So I had to take my son to hockey. It's been a long day today. Britain threatens 10-year prison sentence for lying about pandemic travel. Oh, my God. So Britain is threatening 10-year prison sentences for people who lie about their international travel during the pandemic. Tougher for many violent gun crimes and child sex offenses. The strict punishment was announced on Tuesday as a part of a series to stern measures restricting travel from red list 33 countries after fears of risk spreading the new COVID mutant variant. It's lucky we don't have the flu anymore. The flu's been completely eradicated. Now, I guess the flu is going to be COVID for the future generations. So that's the New York Post posting that. And Fox 8 is claiming Northeast Ohio School District cancels class over COVID vaccine reactions. So there's right here, it says school employees across Ohio started getting their first round of COVID vaccinations, including Massillon City Schools and Medina County Schools on Friday. So public schools over the weekend, in addition to Tuslaw schools, blah, blah, blah. It just goes on to the schools. And it says here, step towards normalcy, 80% of Woodridge local school staffers volunteer for the vaccine. So what if they don't? What happens if people don't want to take this, right? Australia climate wars were always stupid. Now they've gotten even dumber. And this is The Guardian reporting this. So I don't know who puts these people. I know a lot of these people get voted into power. It's the people they appoint as like climate minister and all these other people. Everybody should vote independently to all these different like trustee positions, not appointed by a leader. I mean, given Australian politics has transitioned back to climate change, stupid isn't really a shock. Stupid is the default. So it says here, where was it here? In case you've missed the trigger of the flamboyant incoherence, the musical, also known meltdown within the Nationalists, Scotty Morrison has been warming up the idea. Here's the idea. Just open this right here. No, setting a net zero target means picking a fight with the National Party. So there it is. If leaders don't set targets, it's impossible for others to make plans, and that's exactly what the Prime Minister wants. So they want to start rolling out a lot of stuff with this climate change. But the problem is, I think the New York Post, right here, this is the one that ties into, watch this. Biden's climate fix is fantastically expensive and perfectly useless. And this is the New York Post that's actually reporting this. And it says, Okay, watch this. Most rich countries now promise to go carbon neutral by mid-century. Shockingly, only one country has made a series of independent estimate of the cost. New Zealand found it would optimistically cost 16% of its GDP by then. Equivalent, that's taken away from their housing GDP. You got to watch out. Equivalent to the entire current New Zealand budget. The equivalent cost for the US and the EU would be more than $5 trillion each and every year, okay? 5 trillion American dollars, not Mexican pesos. That is more than the entire US federal budget, or more than the EU government spend across all budgets for education, recreation, housing, environment, economic affairs, police, courts, and defense and health. Wow. Yeah, so this is a big deal. Because it's going to head us into, instead of colonizing another planet or looking to find a way to full time, or trying to find, I'm pretty sure we found cures for a lot of stuff already, but yeah. BBC, COVID. Have your jab this week? PM tells 2 million people, and this is being reported by the BBC. Boris Johnson has urged 2 million people yet to take up their offer of a COVID jab come forward this week. The UK was closing in on Monday's target for vaccination of up to 15 million of its most vulnerable people. So there it is. That's all they're talking about. Watch what's happening in Australia. Watch when we get to Australia. Ontario looking to introduce a digital ID program seeking public input. Again, this is a major, huge. I understand. I keep saying the same crap over and over because it's a bunch of crap. But what I'm saying is that the deal with this is it's going to be taking away so much more from us than the regulation they want to create here. The Ontario government says it's looking for public input on possible digital ID program that would allow for people to prove who they are online much easier. Oh, I guess it's going to remove all the bad fake reviews on my business? I think, no, that's not going to, no. They want to know, like, I don't even know why, like, they would even waste taxpayers' money on this. China's Cold War with Australia fuels shortage at home. Now, for a lot of people that don't know, Australia has been sanctioned pretty hard by China. Like wines, wheats, greens, a bunch of wood, all kinds of stuff. Now, China is having a tough time finding coal to fuel their Red Dragon. And the problem is, I mean, China's going to have a tough time starting a war or picking a fight with Taiwan now. If they can't get energy, they're going to have a tough time. Look what happened to Hitler during World War II. He had a really massive energy problem when he was fighting the North African campaign. They had tanks running on fumes. They were out of gas. A lot of hardware was abandoned because they just didn't have fuel. They couldn't, and they had a massive energy issue when they went through Russia during Operation Barbarossa. So China's also looking at, if there's a military conflict, who's going to fuel them? Japan won't. I hope Australia doesn't take the knee and support them, but I hope Australia steps up as the big kid on the block and saying, you sanctioned us. Screw you, China. And that's what I'm hoping Australia does. Right? Ugly third wave of COVID around April. There we go. I think California's got the third or fourth or fifth. I'm not sure. The reflex wave. China and Russia aggressively targeting Canadians, says CSIS. CSIS is like our CIA. So China and Russia, let me adjust this so you guys can read that there. China and Russia aggressively targeting Canadians, CSIS director warns. So there it is, guys. So let's go right here. This is consistent with the trajectory over the past few years. Certainly post 2016, terrorism will always be a core function. But if we're talking about strategic existential threats, it's all about those foreign states. So there it is. China was pursuing a strategy of geopolitical advantage on all fronts: economic, technological, political, and military, and using all elements of state power to carry out activities that are direct threat to our national security and sovereignty. So, I mean, we all know that Canada's become an autonomous region of China. So has Jamaica. So has Australia. There's so much influence of China in every English-speaking country right now. It's phenomenal. Metro is reporting vaccinated Brits could be given QR codes which allow them to travel. So if you take the jab, you'll be traveling. There it is right there. And Brits who have their COVID jab could be given a scannable QR codes allowing them to travel abroad. People will be selling some of these on the black market. Who knows, man? Who knows? All right, that's the Metro. Let's close some of these. It's getting out of hand here. Australia's flawed push to make big tech pay for news. Again, we've been covering this for a couple of months now. And Australia's pushing Facebook and Google and maybe Yahoo and all those big tech companies to start paying their news, because Australian news, like the ABC News, they're going bankrupt. All the mainstream media in Australia is going bankrupt. I think Australia wants to I don't know if they've bailed out, like Canada has bailed out the BBC, the CBC and all that stuff. I'm not sure, to be honest with you guys, if Australia has bailed them out. I'm not going to say that. I don't know. But I know Australia wants to bail out their dinosaur media by getting Google and Facebook to pay for it. And that's what it looks like that's happening, right? Let's close some of this stuff here. Give us some room to breathe, I say. So that's pretty scary. I don't know what's happening with the Australian media and who's bailing out who. CDC updates COVID face mask guidance, endorses double masking. Double masking. Who out there? Comment below if you're wearing a double mask to save the world. I had a guy come in my store the other day wearing a double mask. Yeah. Anyways. Australia, live update. Victoria Premier Dan Andrews announces snap COVID lockdown as Western Australia and Tasmania close borders. New Victorian stage 4 restrictions take effect from midnight until midnight Wednesday. South Australia extends border closures to all Victoria. 2 new COVID cases linked to Holiday Inn outbreak. Victoria stage 4 lockdown rules and restrictions. But can I get if anybody out there knows, can you comment below or send us a link in the comments below to the flu? Who's gotten the flu in Australia? Did flu season just skip? Do you guys skip it because it's summer now, or was flu season before? Because now it's summer in Australia. I'm not really understanding what the heck is going on here. Is it flu season? I mean, did you guys have a flu season in 2020? What the heck is going on? Okay, what's this? Okay, Boris Johnson says we'll have to get used to the idea of autumn booster jabs. There it is. There. This is Boris. Boris, this is a president of the UK there, a prime minister or whatever they call him down there. Canada's mandatory COVID hotel stays are not internment camps, but they are costly forced detention. So it goes on to say here that Trudeau on January 29th said the cost was expected to be more than $2,000 Canadian. Further, as noticed, the government's new release on these measures, a violation of the quarantine instructions, is also an offense under the Quarantine Act and could lead to serious penalties, including 6 months in prison and or $750,000 in fines. Do they separate you with the prison population? I don't think they do. I think they just put you in jail. Yeah. All right. Where were we? UK should be more or less COVID-free by Christmas, says SAGE expert. So, I mean, what's the deal? So, the reason why I'm not going to get into this right now, but I don't want to go too far off topic, guys. Okay, so this is the Cultural Action Party of Canada. Video, Justin Trudeau says Canada belongs more to immigrants than the Canadian-born. But here's the deal with that. The country's built off majority of the infrastructure. It is built off immigration. I mean, anybody, like everyone's come here sometime or another, whether they came on the land, whether they came off that land bridge, I don't know, like 2,000 years ago, if they walked across from Siberia, you know what I'm saying, right? Or, I mean, it's hard to kind of word that, but I see what they're saying here. And yes, that's how it's feeling a lot lately. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, guys. So here it is. About 60% of nursing home staff decline the COVID vax, Walgreens executive says. About 60% of employees and 20% of residents at long-term care facilities declined the vaccine, Walgreens Senior Vice President, Pharmacy and Healthcare. The declined shots indicate another challenge the country will face, particularly as pharmacies and community clinics get more doses. Vaccine hesitancy. And replacement name for racist, anti-Jemima syrup announced gets cold reception from the public. So they changed this. If this is a few weeks back, they changed it to Pearl Milling Company. I think Gillette tried to pull a stunt like this about a year ago. I think Gillette tried to pull some crap like this like 8 months, a year ago. I'm not too sure when. I've never bought a Gillette product ever since. And what is this? St. Mount Helens? No, Pearl Milling Company, original. I'm never going to buy that for the rest of my life again. All right. Toronto Sun's reporting. Trudeau hands MasterCard a gift of your money. So what's MasterCard? So instead of MasterCard, let's say, defaulting and forgiving everyone's debt, let's just say, for example, if that company goes to, then it will have to go into Section 9 or Section 11, Chapter 11 or whatever. Instead of doing that, the Canadian government is bailing it out. Yeah. That's right. Trudeau government is actually giving a handout to major financial company that makes billions each year. In a little noticed government news release last week, the industry, Mr. Navdeep Bains, announced that the gift of $50 million to MasterCard to help them set up shop in Vancouver. Why doesn't MasterCard use its own money? It's charging anywhere from 8 to 20% VIG or 18% VIG on their credit cards. How could they not? It's like, how would the banks defaulting when they're taking everyone's money away? When they're making record quarterly, yearly profits over and over? By holding travelers who had wrong COVID test, feds are abusing their rights, says a member of parliament. So it goes on to here. Solon said the cases are particularly troubling because officers aren't identifying themselves or proving badge numbers. They're using unmarked vans, and they're not telling the detainees or their family members where they're being taken. That's a major issue in Edmonton or in Edmonton, Alberta, where a woman said her 13 or 15-year-old son was taken away and put into a camp, and she doesn't know where he is. And that's bad news, man. New York State to follow CDC guidance on not requiring quarantine for fully vaccinated people. So they're going to start giving freedom to people, and now technologically they could find out who is who and who hasn't or whatnot. German sniffer dogs detect COVID with 94% accuracy. How is that? Like, I mean, I think that's great. Dogs are remarkable. I mean, don't get me wrong. And condition sent to the corona or odor that comes from cells in infected people. I don't know what to say about that, man. Democrats edit impeachment video to conveniently exclude Trump's call to protest peacefully. So what happened was the video was edited, of course, because I remember him saying that let's have a peaceful protest. That's been removed, and that's just how it works. It's politics. It's the dirtiest game in the world. I don't even want to be part of any of that. Millions of rapid COVID tests gathering dust as some provinces use a fraction of their supply. So I don't know, Canada, what, about 1 trillion of these, and now they're just sitting around? While Alberta has used the smallest percentage of available tests, CBC News analysis shows that that other provinces have used only a fraction of their stockpiles. Quebec has only used 0.92% of its 2.6 million tests, while Newfoundland and Labrador has 0.90% of its 144,240 tests. So why are they what is this? If this is a major deal, why aren't people being tested? Imagine a sickness so powerful and destructive that you need to get tested to find out if you have it. Next on the Twilight Zone. Anyways, guys, let's wrap it up with Florida Man. What did Florida Man do today? Florida Man arrested for punching his girlfriend for changing the channel during Super Bowl. Gainesville, Florida, man behind bars after punching his girlfriend for changing the channel during the Super Bowl. Thomas White was charged with a felony battery for intentionally striking the woman against her will, causing great bodily harm. Too bad. Florida man's in trouble again. And guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And please don't forget to set your reminders. We got Alaska Prepper coming on this Saturday on Mike in the Night live. He's going to be teaching us and explaining to us what to preserve, what's easier to preserve, how to properly ration food during an emergency, fasting, all kinds of stuff. I saw some videos he's been putting that chicharron he made. Oh my God. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. God bless. Thank you so much. We'll talk soon. And look forward to see you guys on the next live stream. I have spoken, and thank you for watching. I have spoken.